Alright folks, welcome back to the 8th week of me going through Phase 4 of the MCU, and today we'll be deep diving into the most hyped film of 2021, and that is Spider-Man No Way Home. This film was co-produced by Columbia Pictures and Marvel Studios. It's the 27th film in the MCU, directed by Jon Watts and written by Chris McKenna and Eric Summers. The film follows Peter Parker dealing with his identity being revealed to the public, where both his world of being a normal teen and superhero collide. He then goes to Doctor Strange to fix this, however things get extremely dangerous and he ultimately learns what it means to be Spider-Man. Tom Holland once again plays the famous hero, Zendaya plays MJ, who is still his girlfriend, who sticks by his side with Ned Leeds' best friend played by Jacob Batalon. Benedict Cumberbatch plays Doctor Strange, Jon Favreau plays Happy Hogan, who is in a pickle himself, but still lets Peter stay with his Aunt May played by Marissa Tomei. Benedict Wong plays Wong, who is now the new Sorcerer Supreme. Tony Revolori plays Flash, who is now pretended to be one of Peter's friends. The villains, we have Jamie Foxx returning as Electro, who gets along a lot more with this universe's power. Willem Dafoe returns as Green Goblin, who is still looking to have a Spider-Man join him or kill him. Alfred Molina returns as Doc Ock, who gets his tentacles voices back in his head. Russ Evans returns as the Lizard, who still wants the world to be like him. And Thomas Hayden Church returns as Sandman, who is again trying to get back home to his daughter. However, don't worry, because Peter will have help from these villains' own versions of the Webhead, clearly played by the iconic Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Wait though, it seems I have my own help today with tackling this movie, and that is Pigwars, who is a YouTuber who also talks about media they have seen, especially Spider-Man media. So welcome Pigwars.
Hi everyone, I'm Pigwars, a fellow video essayist who covers TV shows and films, and just like in No Way Home, I got transported to another universe. So I'm here to help share my thoughts on the film and explain some aspects of the film, specifically the crossover elements and why it's a big accomplishment. So, No Way Home followed the recent trend of multiversal crossovers. And how did they do this? By bringing in the old Spider-Man. Now, people, including me, grew up with Tobey and Andrew as their Spider-Man icons. And while Tom Holland is fantastic in the role, for me at least, no one will ever top Andrew's portrayal. And for a lot of people, Tobey Maguire is the same. So by bringing them back, the people who grew up with those films feel a sense of nostalgia and joy. But it wasn't just the men in red and blue tights that were brought in. And no, I don't mean Superman. The villains were brought in as well. And this is the big part of the film. Many Spider-Man movies struggle to balance more than 2 antagonists. So to have 5 is kind of a big deal. And unlike previous films, No Way Home managed to balance all the villains. Kinda Lizard, but I mean he's just a big lizard. And gave them all full arcs. They kept them true to who they were before and expanded on the characters. Everything a sequel should do. And hey, we even got a Venom cameo. Oop, seems like another portal opened up. Guess I better leave. Thanks for having me. Bye!
Well, that just happened. You never know, one day the odd YouTuber verse will once again open up a portal to Pigwars, or maybe another person in the future. But in the meantime, it's time for me to carry on talking about this movie. Development for a third and fourth MCU Spider-Man film began in August 2019, with no director attached. However, both Sony and Holland had hopes for Jon Watts' return. Even then, Holland was only contracted at the time to do the third movie. However, as we know, Sony and Marvel really, at the end of the day, really disagree with who should be getting what from these films. So Sony went on to announce that they would be going on to do this film alone without Marvel's involvement. They also did say they were open on coming back to the studio in the future. While this announcement happened, both Chris McKenna and Eric Summers began writing the film's script. However, for Watts, he did have many offers go his way. One from Sony for this film, one from Marvel to start a new franchise which would become the Fantastic Four, and heck, even completely different studios wanted him. By September 2019, Sony chairman Tony Vinciquerra said that the character would be put into their own universe they were developing, which included the Venom movies. This then resulted in a lot of backlash to the point where he made a second announcement saying that yes, Feige was publicly the full creative director, but creative decisions for the character were also made by people from Sony, who did put a lot of work in as well apparently. So overall he was saying Spidey was still in some right hands. However, backlash carried on, and Holland, who was at the D23 convention, managed to privately talk to the heads of both Disney and Sony to get them to start up negotiations. Luckily, by the end of the month, they worked out things and said they were back together for a new film, which would then release on July 16th, 2021. The new agreement, however, changed. Not only money percentages, but also that this character can still be in the MCU, but also visit Sony's universe at the same time. After hearing this news, Jon Watts himself put himself in final negotiations to direct the new film. Writing, Kraven the Hunter was originally going to be the villain, which was an idea Watts originally expressed to Holland. However, eventually he had an idea inspired by It's a Wonderful Life, where Peter would make a wish to Doctor Strange, which would end up with him exploring the multiverse and past Spider-Man films. They said this would be a bit ambitious, so they would tease it more at the end of the film, but they eventually went full on in. A risky move that they played was that they actually wrote in the characters before asking the actors to return, and while in initial drafts they included all characters from the past films, but eventually narrowed it down to a few characters, after realising it was just impossible to do. Even then, Green Goblin wasn't a main villain at all in most drafts, until I realised it was a perfect decision to do later on the road. America Chavez was even considered to appear, however a role in the film was used for Ned Leeds instead. Then of course you know what I'm going to say next. The film was expected to begin mid-2020, but in April 2020 Sony changed the film's release date to November 2021 due to COVID. This then went on to affect things like Multiverse of Madness was meant to release before this film, but now this film was going to release before Multiverse of Madness, so they had to rewrite things such as Strange no longer having the knowledge of the multiverse other than its concept. By June, Watts was announced to be returning, with Marissa Tomei returning as Aunt May. Charlie Cox was also contacted by Feige to return as Daredevil and even appear in this film at the same time. The next month, Sony would go on to change the film's release date again, this time to December 17th, 2021. More casting news was released in October with Jacob and Benedict playing Ned and Strange. However, the biggest casting news was definitely Jamie Foxx coming back as Electro from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Second unit filming started around the same time, specifically on October 14th to 16th of 2020 in New York. They then did the same in Manhattan on October 23rd. Principal photography then began at Atlanta on October 25th, with the main actors coming in. Holland literally finished shooting for Uncharted 2 days before coming on to this film. Mauro Fiore served as the film's cinematographer. Originally, Seamus McGravy had that role, but things got complicated for him after the filming delays, and even got COVID himself before they started filming. Cumberbatch would go on set by late November, before beginning work on Multiverse of Madness the same month in London. Filming overall ran for around 7 to 8 weeks before they took a break for the Christmas season. By December 2020, Alfred Molina, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield signed on to be in the film. This then resulted in Collider hearing about it and reporting that the old Spider-Men were back with their love interests, and we all know how it played on from then on. Overall, all the returning actors would then have to enter the set with a cloak on so paparazzi wouldn't spot them. In the Christmas break, McKenna and Summer would go on to rewrite the Spider-Man's entrance and the third act so they could start filming. By the end of February, the film's title was then revealed. Overall filming wrapped on March 26, 2021. By April 2021, Molina confirmed he was in the film, saying he wasn't allowed to say anything during filming, but realised he was already reported and rumoured to be returning, so decided to confirm himself after filming finished. Cox would go on to start being rumoured to be in the film, but went on to deny so later on in the month. Stone, who we now know wasn't in the final film, also decided to deny her appearance as well at the same time. After Let There Be Carnage credit scene happened, it was expected that Tom Hardy would be in the film, and the scene was even directed by Jon Watts while they were filming No Way Home. Overall, we now know he only appeared in this film's credit scene, however there were plans for him to appear in the final battle. By the middle of November, additional filming was done for the movie, with Dunst then responded to rumours saying she wasn't in the film, but would be up for a return in one day. Overall, Jeffrey Ford and Lee Folsom Boyd served as the film's editors. Music-wise, in November 2020, it was confirmed Michael Giacchino would be composing after doing so with the previous two movies. The overall score makes references to previous films, which were composed by Hans Zimmer, James Horner and Danny Elfman. The film had its world premiere at Fox Village Theatre in LA on December 13th, 2021. It was then released in the UK on December 15th and the US on December 17th. It would go on to release digitally on March 15, 2022 and on disc this April 12th. The digital release was originally March 22nd but was pushed back due to the film leaking onto torrent sites. The film made $804.4 million in the US and $1.088 billion everywhere else, overall making $1.892 billion. It was the highest grossing film of 2021, the sixth highest grossing film of all time, the highest grossing Spider-Man film, and the highest grossing film for Sony overall. Critically, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 93% from 404 reviews, and Metacritic gave it a 71 out of 100 based on 60 reviews. The film was nominated for 57 awards and won 28, crediting it for its sound, music, visuals, being a favourite of 2021, its performances, writing, and its action. Since this is the thing Pigwars got to talk about, I am going to mention it first. I'm glad with the way they handled Maguire and Garfield. They overall had brilliant moments to explain how their lives had been, even making jokes about the details in their films while not fully stealing the show. The villains are also done great. They have their own arcs, which you actually feel bad for them. However, the two that stole the show for me were definitely Green Goblin and Doc Ock. Mostly Goblin. Honestly, I still need to have yet another rewatch of the original Spider-Man film, because I kind of feel Goblin was done even better here. Although the two that I wouldn't say I was disappointed with per se, but still weren't as good, were Sandman and the Lizard. The two overall had very small moments where they mostly just mentioned the same things from the previous films. But hey, I've learned that they wanted to do more, but our good friend COVID once again ruined that opportunity. Although as a story alone, Marvel and Sony really knocked it out of the park. Overall, this makes Tom Holland's Spider-Man go back to the main roots of being the original character. Mentioned Holland, this is the best performance from this cast in the MCU yet. This isn't exactly a complaint to Jacob's acting, but the only complaint I do really have is that I thought Ned's stuff was a little bit rushed in the film. But overall, that is the making of No Way Home, my own thoughts, and even Pigwars' thoughts. So yeah, I've got this video quite done quickly compared to the Hawkeye video, so I haven't got any updates on anything really. It was really good having Pigwars on the channel. This was more of his idea, to be honest. He contacted me to have a collab. We had a bit of a talk, and eventually we just decided to have him on for the No Way Home video, since this is a massive movie. And honestly, a thing I wanted to do originally with the MCU videos was have people on occasionally talk about their own thoughts. And I did have someone contact, and I will admit I completely forgot to contact them back to do on them videos. But I'm glad at least with No Way Home, one of the most anticipated films in a good while, I've got to have someone on and talk a bit about it. But if anyone's watching right now and ever want to do a collab, just contact me on Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok. It's on the screen right now. If you want to contact me, be doing anything, it can even be for your own channel. I'm down for it, to be honest. But yeah, I haven't got any other comments apart from, again, thank you Pigwars for joining on the channel. I hope you do like the final results of the video. And yeah, right now, I'm not exactly sure if a Moon Knight video is next week, and if a Multiverse of Madness video is going to be out the week after, because they are out next week for me recording this audio, but it really depends how quickly I get them videos done, if you get what I mean. So either you will have them videos up for the next 2 weeks, or you will have to wait a bit longer. But again, I will just advise going on the Twitter, Instagram, TikTok that was on the screen mentioned before, follow them, and make sure to just check occasionally for updates, because I do give updates all the time when I'm working on these videos. So yeah, if you've been liking the MCU videos for a good while now, please consider like, commenting, subscribing. I more want to see comments about your own thoughts on the film, and even some facts that I maybe missed out. But yeah, that's not the main priority. I just like talking about things like this. I like writing the scripts with my own thoughts and about the making of it, because I get to do a research into something I either like or love or just interested in. And as well as that, I get to do a bit of editing. So yeah, I'll hopefully maybe see you next week for Moon Knight. I'll see you soon for Moon Knight, but I will definitely be back in the future to talk about it. So peace.
Spider-Man, is he stranded? Yes, he is.